Baphomet here, and second up on my metal blog is Suidakra from Germany. I'd say they're melodic death metal, folk metal, really depending on who you're talking to. And first up on the albums, I want to talk about the first four albums because they're all pretty similar. The first one is Lupine Essence, then Auld Lang Syne, Lays from Afar, and The Arcanum. A couple of the songs I like off of these albums are The Heresy and Dragon Tribe. A couple others off of Auld Lang Syne would be And Another Sis Looms. Then off of Lays from Far Away would be Chance of Lees and The Hidden Quest. And then some of my favorite stuff would be off of The Arcanum, which has a good blend of slower song that goes into a really heavy one, which seems to be a kind of Suidakra's custom thing that they do. They're traditionally kind of what they do with the song to Serenade to a Dream and goes right into the Arcane Spell. One thing I like about these albums, which again becomes kind of a traditional Suidakra thing, is the blend of heavy and slower songs, kind of like the instrumental shows, calm. The next album up, Emprise to Avalon, has one of the best intros, in my opinion, of all their stuff, with the new drummer Lars, with Darkane Times, just a really awesome, heavy song. And a couple other great songs I like off that album, Pendragon's Fall and The Quest itself, not the Hidden Quest, but The Quest. Um, Next album up, Signs for the Fallen, has one of my top five favorite songs of theirs that they do all together. Signs for the Fallen is a really awesome song to get you into this album. And it kind of also shows what I like to call their campfire songs. Kind of acoustic, you just kind of feel like you're in the woods. It starts off with The Ember Died, which also has like a part two on Caledonia, which is a couple albums after. The next album up, which is one of my favorite albums of theirs, Command to Charge, has a lot more clean vocals on it, but I really like it. It doesn't seem as heavy or as aggressive as the older albums, but I really like the blend of that. They have a lot of great melodies, great vocal melodies, just great drums all along in it. Some of my songs I suggest are Second Skin and Strange Perfection, and again, they also have an awesome like acoustic, slower song, Gathered in Fear, which is one of my favorite acoustic songs by any band. Just all around great, and great vocals too on this album and this song. Next up after that is Caledonia. It really kicks off with two awesome songs, top to bottom, great vocals, heavy drums with the Highland Hills and a Blackened Shield. Now, if you're a fan of bagpipes, I believe this is the album they introduced it. Great song for that. Fourth Clyde has an awesome part that kicks in the middle with some bagpipes. And so if you're a fan of bagpipes, goes right into the next album, Krogok, which starts off with a really great bagpipe intro. And then blasts in the Con Loach, which is another traditional Suidakra thing, instrumental, slower songs, just hammers you right with the next song after that. This album also has the addition of Tina Stable on Feats of War, which I really like, adding her to the band. And another great song, this is one of my favorite songs, top five again, kind of like the Signs for the Fallen, is Isle in the Sky. Another cool breakdown in the middle with some clean vocals. The next album up is The Book of Doubt, which kind of got me into the band. Once I heard Over Nine Waves, just a bagpipe with heavy guitars just kicks off. I had to keep listening to that album. Kicks right into Doubt 2059, and a couple other awesome songs which are really heavy that I like. Dark Mound and Stone of Seven Suns, which seems to be another classic Suidakra type of thing. Very folk metal with heavy parts to it. And I also like there's more Tina Stable on this, more clean vocals. You hear them in Magmel is one song that has some clean male vocals on it. It's just one of my top two, three albums of theirs all together. And then the final album, their newest album, Eternal Defiance, shows a bigger contribution from Tina Stable with Beneath the Red Eagle and March of Conquest. She also has kind of like a solo song that she does on her own. It's just acousticy. It's pretty much just her, the Mind song, which is just a really great song in general. I like her vocals on this, and it's not like a really heavy song, but I do like it. Um, and then right after that, it blasts again right into a couple more heavier songs like Dragon's Head, more classic Suidakra type of things that they do. And if you don't mind orchestral things in these type of bands, Damnatio Memori, I think is how they say it, is a really cool outro song. I think this album shows a lot of dynamics between guitars, vocals, the acoustic stuff, the orchestral stuff. It shows a lot of depth that Suidakra puts into their albums. So overall, I think they're one of my favorite folk metal bands. Actually, maybe the favorite folk metal band if you count Amorphous as a folk metal band. I'm not really sure. Um, really depends on who you're talking to, if they think Suidakra or Amorphous is folk metal, but I think they are kind of blend of melodic death and folk metal, and Suidakra is definitely one of my top two in that. I'm going to mention some of my links below. Not all the songs I mentioned because that would take up a lot of room. And I just want to mention one thing if you can find it. Mrs. McGrath is a pretty cool song. It's again Tina Stable. It's an all around cool Irish pub type of folk song. It's just really neat. Um, so I hope you enjoy Suidakra. Happy listening.